Alright, so anyone with a VFR 800 and they don't want to have that natural one bolt, well, you know, one quick half-hour job turn into a day job, as you can see. Times that by 2. And that's the replacement one there, but I'm not going to put one of them in. Instead, we put one of them in. 1 second, losing my part bits. And this will make your life so much easier, because having to remove these was really sketchy and not easy. Whereas these, they come off with a 10mm spanner, and these are the ones that are in the, anyone knows it's V4, so you got one in the front, or 2 sparks at the front, 2 at the back, and as I said, the 2 at the front, simple. And these been sitting there, this bike's got 102,000, like I say, look, sitting in there all this time, and I know that if I go, there we go, and she's loose. See, proof, she's loose. And that was a 10mm spanner, and like I say, they've come off, and the rest is simple with a spark plug, more or less, I hope so. And same for the other side. For some reason, I don't know why, Honda decided for the back ones where access is tricky, you can see I've replaced them with them now. Yeah, as you can see where access is really tricky, they decide to put an Allen head one in. Why? I just don't know, because the thread is identical to the other ones at the front. Just don't know why they did that, other than probably to have a laugh at our expense and trying to get them out when they go bad. And I tried a Torx bit, nope. Obviously the head rounded off upon natural. Tried a Torx bit, nope. I mean, to be fair, this was in my younger days when I initially tried to remove this and just left it. But yeah, Torx said it just didn't go. Several methods didn't go. In the end I had to, as you can see, cut it. And you do not have much space to do it with. You've got the engine top there, the top of the engine heads there. You've got very little space to cut away with. Like when I was cutting away, I had my eyes there, and there was probably like 2mm from that cutting disc and touching this. Thankfully escaped away on this side. Slightly got the other side, but it's a very minimal scuff, and it was fine. And it had to be done because that side is even more of a pain to get to. You can just see back there. I mean, I had to do this. The light can get in there, but it's just above there. The camera can catch up, but it's just above there in the Sparkplug, just there, just at the back. Right at the back there. I had the tank off, so I had ease of access. But it's even still, trying to cut away down there, really hard. I slightly nipped it, very minimal. I've rubbed it with some Scotch-Brite, it's completely gone, so not to worry there. But yeah, I've replaced both of them with what they have in the front, which are these ones. And then all you got to do when you're removing these, I mean, even with a Allen head it was tricky, but all you got to do with these, I can even do it now, I can move in some of them, I put a spanner in, nice and easy to reach and fit, and they're not going to round off as easy as Allen heads would. Same with this one. I might need a slightly longer Allen, not Allen, sorry, we're trying to move away from them, slightly longer wrench and both hands and whatnot, but the theory is the same. You can get a wrench in there near enough. Well, there you go, you can see it's almost in there, but same again, you can actually get a socket up in there, you'd reach it in there and turn it from there nice and easily, instead of spending the day on it. So yeah, anyone who's got a VFR and you know that see them bolts, get them out ASAP and just replace them with the one. These are M6x20, I believe, M6x20. And yeah, just put them in the back. The threads fit. The threads are identical to the ones at the front. It's probably like a mil the shortness of the thread, but no biggie there. And it will, even though you know you don't change these spark plugs very often, they go for 30k each because they're iridium and whatnot. But even then, when you want to come do them, you'll be thanking yourself. But that aside, yeah, anyone knows we've been doing a lot of work to this bike just lately. 100k restoration. She's almost at 102,500 now, so a lot of miles. But in that restoration so far, we've fitted a line, put new rear suspension on, linkage bearings. They've all been replaced. One of them was an absolute pain, the swing arm one. I want to do the swing arm bushings and the bearings in there soon as well. The rear axle's not long been done, so we ain't got to worry about that. But we can do that one soon. They feel okay at the minute, so we'll leave them for now. But when they do start to feel a wobble, that can be another project. These front forks, they've been fully taken apart. That one had to be removed by tying it to a concrete post. One end was to a concrete post, the other was to the tow bar of a car. And we had to yank that apart because that one was not coming apart nicely. It really didn't play ball, that one. That one played ball, but for some reason that one did not. It was, the bushings have got interlocked between each other, and anyone that's removed forks, it can happen, and when it does happen, it's a pain. And sometimes you have to resort to certain methods to get them out. And that was just the one that came up at the time. This one came out nicely. These are the original stanchions. I was half tempted to replace them, however, I wanted to look at them first and give them a good examination. They're in good nick. For 100,000 miles, they're in good nick. Not really bent up, pretty straight. I couldn't see no bends in them anyway, they look nice and straight. As you can see, they're not really scuffed up, pretty clean. I mean, there's a couple of light scuffings on, but nothing dangerous. There's no rust or pitting. There was a bit of dechroming on one of them, I can't remember which one, with a slight bit of dechroming, but you know, they'll last till the next rebuild. I know what they are now, and they'll last another rebuild at least. Save me some pennies because this rebuild's getting expensive. Aggressive springs have been put inside, so the front, all the suspensions completely next to, well, it's even better than it's ever been. Handles phenomenally. We've had all the gaskets off in the exhaust, they've all been replaced. Titanium bolt heads put back on, and even the studs. We're going to be doing the cooling, doing the oil next soon. Just going to do some oil, so we're going to get the oil off and the oil filter. Got some pair valves. When the guy comes back, we'll get some pair removals made. So I want to finally get his pair removal system off. I mean, the main job of today was just trying to get them bolts out, so when the spark plugs do arrive, it's a nice quick job, and I've took a lot of the effort out today. But yeah, she's coming on pretty well, and yeah, she's running on sweet still runs on the bat. One thing I've probably been thinking about as well is the starter motor, but she starts right off the bat. I've never really seen any issues coming from it, and the rebuild kit for one of them is the price of another starter motor. So may as well just get another starter motor and keep it about. If it fails, there it is. They're not difficult to change on this, unlike them. Yeah, that one was a nightmare to change, whereas that one, it's just behind the exhaust ports. Takes the cover off, I can work around the rest and get in there. Don't know why they didn't do it to the other one, but yep. And well, there's a better sight here, you can see the hex heads, not Allen heads, whereas on the rear they put Allen heads in. Don't know why they did it. Do not know why they did it. Yeah, I've also given this a spray job up. I've also learnt I'm not a painter, and next time it's going off to a paint job. I've done best I can. It's not too bad. Also, it's not all icky wicky as you saw before. I think it's looking a bit shinier again. Yeah, not bad for a bike with over 100k on the clock and over 21 years now. 21, 22 years old, something like that she is now. So it's an old bike. Also, the electrics, I've done several things to that. I have a couple of videos where people have seen like the headlight loom in here is not the stock one, it's completely handmade built. I've done several other things as well. Another thing I've also done, the stator in here. This is one people might not know on the VFR 800s. It's a very, very little known about recall, and it's not even doable anymore. You've got to do it yourself. But anyone with a very early 2002 VTEC system, their stator in there is from the older models. It's not been updated or anything like that. And obviously the newer VTECs, they had fuel injection, all this ABS and more headlights and this and that, require more electric. And basically the early 02 models, I've not long learnt this, is if you're riding down the road and you've got your high beams on and you have the cooling fan on as well, or let's say you're riding and you've got the high beams on and heated grips, you're effectively draining the battery, and that's not charging enough for you. It's too much for the charging system and it's draining the battery. One of the reasons these bikes have plagued with charging issues, because on the earlier ones that actual stator is too low of an output for the bike itself, let alone when they add electrical accessories, it just fries it all up. So what you have to do there is get the later model stator, and also the flywheel as well, the actual flywheel rotor. You want to take that one off and put the newer model one on, otherwise it won't fit. Easy enough to do, quite simple to do, and you will find you should have a better charging system. Mine's so far it's done okay. I not complained so far yet. It's still the same one in there, so far so good. We've also put a nice fan switch in, hazard switches. So she had a good bit of tinkering, but everything that I've ever done, I've always kept to a rule where I can go back and put it back to stock if I ever need to. Everything that you see, every modification, every electrical bit that I have ever put on this bike, should I ever need to put it back to stock, I can actually do that. It wouldn't take me too long at all. I could all put it back to stock wiring easy enough, but I could go into it for hours and hours on what each wire does and how it all helps rewiring the bike and whatnot. And before anyone says, oh my god, you've done a hack job there, or rewiring the bar like that, I bet it's going to have all these electrical issues. So far, so good. So far, so good. Hopefully a few more jobs. She's off to Scotland. Another trip to the Highlands soon on her. She'll get another one out of her. Yeah, till next time.